Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Reality Derby. I am Marcus James Dixon.
I am Denton Davidson, and we're having a big brother day. I mean, we're talking to Katherine Woodman, who's going to give us the scoop on Rylie and that whole controversy after he got out of the house, and her shocking pick for who she wants to win
It
this
is
season of
shocking.
Big Brother. When she told me, I said, that's surprising to me. But
Yes.
it's fun, and I like her reasoning, and we'll get into that later.
We're going to also talk about, Vince's HOH and all the crying that happened. And at the end, we're going to mention some spoilers about what's going on in week 8. We already know the HOH. So we'll
Yeah,
give you a spoiler warning when to turn off. But should we go to Catherine now, Denton?
let's do it. Katherine, you've had a day now to sort of digest the eviction. How are you
hmm
feeling the day after?
I'm feeling pretty good. I am excited to talk to friends and family fairly soon. And um, yeah, I feel pretty good.
Looking back on your journey, what do you think was the turning point of your game and getting evicted? It never felt like you were able to really get a grasp on any control in the house.
Yeah. Yeah, I never really got to feel fully in control or fully trusting of quite a few of the past HOHs in the last few weeks. I think maybe the most obvious turning point was Lauren using a veto on Vince and Rylie going up. I think regardless of Rylie going up, no matter who had been put up by Rachel, with Vince being taken down, would have been kind of crazy. So yeah, I think that was my biggest turning point. Him being taken down, and then also knowing that like trust there was probably never going to be built again with Vince. That is.
A lot of emotions, particularly from Vince. There's a lot of crying this season. What's
Yeah.
going on? Is this like the most intense roller coaster emotionally you've been on?
Yeah, I mean, it is extremely intense in that house. I am not a crier by any stretch of the imagination. I was so shocked by very many of my reactions. I was even told my other house guest that they didn't think I cared enough because I didn't have as many like crying moments, which I thought was crazy because I was like, gosh, I feel like I'm so overly emotional in here. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it's just, gosh, it was so incredibly intense in there, and there was a lot of crying.
The relationships build an overdrive. What's it like being in there with no phone, no access to the outside world, and then you're just sort of trapped with these people?
Yeah, everyone says one day in there is a week, and a week in there is a month. And I think that is completely true. It is so incredibly fast. You have, nothing to do all day other than to talk to each other about game or your personal life. And that is what you do day in and day out. I did it for 52 days, and I had know people's eating habits, and I know how often they shower and when they wash their hands and what their favorite scents are. And it's just like this nonstop 24/7 like speed dating thing, and you figure out everything about everybody. And it makes opinions form very quickly, and it makes emotions very, very high.
Who's the dirtiest person in the house?
Oh, I don't want to say, okay, no one's dirty. I think there some things happened that made that perception happen for certain people, and I do not want to say that. I think messy, like maybe they have things lying around most often. Um, Ava and Ashley like love to, leave random things in random places.
Messy is the better word. Yeah, good correction there. Your relationship with Rachel has been not on the best of terms, and it's been, like, frankly, humorous for me to watch. Why couldn't
Good.
you two see eye to eye?
I felt like certain things with her, especially while being in the house. I felt like she crossed some like personal lines, just with like how she plays her game, and I could tell that a little too late that she really tries to like connect with people and get them to feel very close to her. And I think the things that made me feel close to her and safe with her were things that ending up, you know, kind of playing hard against me with sending Rylie home and then also wanting me on the block. Kind of felt like it crossed a boundary. So that's something that felt very like heavy in the house. that I felt like she had used that, and that is at least how I felt there with just the interactions that I was having. Every hour that I get away from it, I'm like, okay, that probably wasn't her intent, because if it was, yikes. But I tried to cope with a lot of it with humor, and I made some comments. I know I honestly blacked out for the majority of them, but it was how I tried to deal with the situation. Um, and yeah, I thought they were funny, and they might not have been funny to everybody, so I apologize for that.
I like it. So, you developed obviously a bit of a showmance with Rylie. Did that surprise you? Were you expecting something like that to happen this summer?
I mean, no, I really didn't expect something like that. And I thought, if I felt anything for anybody, it would be very easy to not pursue, at least in the house. And I was proven wrong. I am normally somebody that is very good at, compartmentalizing and being like, no, I'm not going to do this because I choose not to. And I'm not going to feel this way because I choose not to feel this way, type of thing. And I just couldn't really help it. Rylie is very charming and a very good person. And it was really hard to not want to pursue things with him in the house.
He's gotten some backlash. I mean, he's kind of been going through it now that he's outside of the house. People saying he was controlling or aggressive. What would you say to viewers who found his behavior concerning?
I think that specific instances maybe were a bit blown out of proportion. I obviously don't know them yet, but I do know my own feelings in that house. And with such incredibly high emotions that happen with literally everybody in there, I think the romantic aspect made it seem like maybe they were more serious or more concerning than what they were. But if we were just friends and there weren't a romantic part of it, I don't know how much that would have been taken as something that wasn't right. I know that I wasn't uncomfortable or unhappy, and so don't I don't see it as something that like I'd agree with, and I hope that he's doing okay. I'm excited to talk to him and see how he's doing with all of that.
Were you shocked Vince put you on the block?
No, I wish I were, and I wish that I could be like, yeah, it was crazy. But I had said that, it's either he genuinely is that easy manipulated and he actually is somehow still on my side and Lauren's side and couple other people's side maybe, and he's trying to figure out where he stands, but he just for 6 times straight is getting manipulated, or he is actively working against me and maybe people that I'm close to, and we're just sitting there hoping that he changes his mind. And those were the 2 scenarios I felt like were there, and me going on the blog proves both and neither correct. I think it's a mix of both, and he questions his game a lot and he's a little paranoid, and it wasn't entirely surprising because I think either way, both those situations don't really work in my favor.
Well, you may have heard Keanu has risen to power. He is the new HOH. How do you think things are going to play out this week? And just FYI, Vince has already been sobbing.
Yeah. I'm not surprised by that. I think Vince could potentially be safe this week. I am not for sure if that's somebody Keanu would immediately gun for. But if he doesn't put Rachel up, then I very likely think it could be Vince. Keanu is somebody that I really can't guess what he's going to do at any point in any time. Every time I heard about his potential noms every single week, at least one person changed. So, yeah, I think it's going to be pretty surprising what he does with that power.
Who is sitting pretty right now? Who do you think has the best shot of going to the end?
I think Will is sitting very pretty. And I was very surprised to find out that some of the people that I thought he was closest to aren't involved in his alliance at all. So that's crazy. So yeah, I think he's sitting very pretty. I think he's slightly underestimated. I'm guilty of that as well. And I think that he is very discreet with the way that he's moving in the house.
And I might know the answer to this, but who do you want to win the whole thing?
I said I would like to see Rachel and Vince up against each other as the final two, and I want Rachel to win so everyone can feel the regret of letting her get this far in the game. I think it is insane that she hasn't touched the block yet, and just from the perspective of like, she knows what she's doing and she's known it the whole time. She is a smart cookie, and she is getting far for her efforts that she has made, and they are letting her do it.
Well, I respect that answer. That's kind of I did not expect you to say that. So, water under the bridge, it's all game for you.
Yeah, more so. I mean, I think every hour that I'm separated from the house, I'm more so feeling that way. So, yeah, I think I knew in the house, even when I was saying certain comments, which were mostly meant to be taken in humor, things were intense. And I knew that upon leaving, I would likely be like, okay, there's some separation there. I still think, maybe there's some personal things that I'm like, oh, a little harder to get past when it's just been 12 hours, really. But yeah, it's eventually going to be all water under the bridge, at least on my side.
Well, Catherine, it was fun to watch. Congratulations on getting this far. And I guess we'll all watch now what happens for the rest of the summer.
We will. It will be fun.
She wants Rachel to win?
I think that's hilarious. I love her reasoning that it's basically just to prove a point that everyone was so stupid for keeping her in this long. And I think that's great. She wants Rachel and Vince as the final two. And that wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't be mad about it. I can already see Vince's face, like thinking he's going to win. He's giving me Paul vibes. Remember Paul two times in a row was like, no, like he lost to Josh, which was it? Wait, was that the season?
And Paul's going to be on House of the Villains next, so I can't wait to see what he does on there. But she wants Vince and Rachel to be in the final two, and not Lauren. I thought for sure she would say, "I want Lauren to win this show."
Yeah, she just wants revenge. So who cares about Lauren?
And you also asked her about the Rylie controversy. Rylie did not do any press last week because people are maybe blowing what he did in the house out of proportion, maybe not. It depends on who you are and what you see. It's like a Rorschach test.
Yeah, I mean, she defends him and says it is blown out of proportion, and she's like, I was not uncomfortable, I was not unhappy, and she can't wait to talk to him. So she's defending her man. She's ready to speak to him and rekindle that. And maybe it was blown out of proportion. Who knows? None of my business, even though everything is my business in that house.
Well, the showmance is gone. Rylie first, Katherine next. And when Vince became HOH, I was convinced that Rachel was going on that block. How did she survive for the 7th week in a row, Denton?
I think it's her friends in the house. They managed, it's really Morgan, actually. I think Morgan has come around to Rachel's side, and then they formed this judges alliance of Rachel, Morgan, Ashley, and Will. And then Vince sort of just got dragged in, maybe against his will, but he's also willing to do whatever he needs to. I mean, he's sort of like the most weaselly person in the house. He's always like, I'm going to look like such a weasel. I'm like, yes, you are. And you cry too much and it's pathetic and you need to just like grow up and stop sobbing all the time.
He cries a lot, but they all cry a lot. Like, what is going on inside that house? It's like, just, they should be selling tissues. They could be making millions of dollars.
They should have a therapist inside. I mean, they're all completely unhinged.
And by the way, speaking of the Judges Alliance, Julie Chen Moonves put up a photo during the live show to show Katherine, like, here are the 5 people that just kicked you out of the house. And she had a photo of Mickey instead of Ashley, which I'm like, what's going on here? How did that happen?
Yeah, someone messed up.
Someone messed up big time.
Yeah.
So after Katherine went home, there was a new head of household competition. It was a true false competition. Based on the live feeds, it came down to a tiebreaker. And Denton, do you want to reveal who has won head of household for week 8?
I mean, I think people are excited for different reasons because it's Keanu, who is like the king of chaos. I think it came down to him and Kelly. So either way, it was going to be like a messy week, and I'm here for it. Like I like Rachel and everyone in the Judges Alliance, but I'm happy to see them sweat a little and get a little uncomfortable in the house. But here's the scoop. So Rachel and Keanu like had this huge falling out, but like overnight, Rachel has done it again, and they are back. They're back to being besties.
No, they're
and
not.
They
Are you
are.
serious?
I dead serious. And he's like, and she's like, I'm sorry if I pissed you off. And like, they're back at it, and her and Vince are going back and like Keanu is like a ping pong ball for those two. They just keep throwing him back and forth. And to this point, he's kind of been taking everything Rachel says and then like going and tattling on her to Vince. But
Why don't those
Vince,
three just create an alliance? Rachel, Vince, and Keanu. Like they're all sort of working together and they don't really realize that. If they just came together, that would be a powerful trio.
so Keanu's been telling Vince all of this, and Vince just started sobbing on the live feeds. So everyone is giving him a bunch of crap now because Vince, true to form, like when he gets backed into a corner, he just starts crying. Like he just can't help it. And he also says it's like an act, but it's just such a pathetic act. And I just don't see someone winning that. Like when you get to the end and you see someone, and it's like, I'm not going to vote for you to win. You just like cried and whined your way to the end.
I really thought at the first, couple weeks of the show that Vince was going to be a games player, like a serious master manipulator, and instead, he's really coming off the past couple weeks as sort of a weakling. He was on the block twice. Someone else had to take him off the block, Lauren, and then he won HOH, and he just kind of, he did go after Mickey, which was a strong move, and then after she won the veto, he kind of did the weak thing, which was going after Katherine as opposed to making a big move going after Rachel. So Vince is really, really lowering in my own personal rankings of who is a good player and who's not.
I'm not into it at all. I wouldn't mind, like I don't dislike anyone a lot, but I would be fine with basically anyone winning this game except for Vince or Lauren, just because Lauren has done absolutely nothing but been a total snooze. So anyone but those two, even if it's like Mickey or someone people are mad at, it would still be fun and I could enjoy it. But like a Vince or a Lauren win to me would kind of kill this season.
Well, Keanu will name his three nominees very soon. We'll see on the Sunday episode how all that plays out. Do you have any predictions who you think, which three people he will be putting up on the block?
I don't know. I think he's like very chaotic, which makes it more fun. I mean, he has something against Ashley. He might put up Mickey. It sounds like he might put up Vince. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see who he chooses. If Mickey is up there, the Judges Alliance could save. They might have the numbers to save themselves. And it strangely doesn't sound like he's going after Ava, even though she put him on the block.
That's so weird to me. I was just going to suggest Ava. You don't think Ava, because you're way more into the live feeds than I am, so you know all of the like intricacies of what's going on.
It doesn't sound like it's going to be Ava, but again, I mean, Keanu, you just never know what he's really thinking. Also, the live feeds can be deceiving because you're watching conversations and you think that they're honest and true. But what what the aired episodes show is the diary rooms. That's the only place where real truth comes out. So sometimes you're watching those live feeds and you think something's actually happening, and then you see the diary room and they're like, "Oh yeah, that was all just a bunch of BS."
Ah, very interesting. So I was just looking at Keanu's history on the block. He was up 4 times in a row. Jimmy put him up. Jimmy's not there anymore. Lauren put him up. I don't think he's going to put up Lauren, though. I don't see that happening. And then Mickey put him up when Mickey stole Riley's HOH. I definitely think Mickey's going on the block. And
He
then
was
the fourth
Mickey's
one,
target. Like that's who she wanted to go home, and he won the veto.
right. And then Ava was the fourth person. So I'm going to say he's putting up Ava and Mickey for sure. And then the third one, I'm just going to say Rachel. I don't know how accurate you are
I'm
in
gonna
this.
say Vince, Ashley, and Mickey,
Okay. We should put money on it.
or Vince Morgan and Mickey. Just go straight for the melting pot. Put them all three up there and see what happens.
There's still 3 melting pot people left. I thought that alliance was gone like 2 weeks ago, but no, they're still chugging along.
That pot cracked a while ago.
Okay, anything else to talk about before we say goodbye for the weekend?
I'm excited to see what Keanu does. It's going to be a hot mess, and I'm here for it.